How we all doing this fine Monday? I had a lot of fun this weekend. I went out there, played some Pokemon Go Fest. It's 15 bucks, and I don't think most people thought it was very worth it. I got sunburned, but I got to hang out with friends. So overall, a good time. So hopefully you had a wonderful weekend as well. Two things today. We got pre-order deadlines and the Weiss Schwarz Auction Center to talk about. First up is the schedule. Let's just take a look at the schedule. We got Fate Grand Order Camelot coming out. I did a buy or invest video, and that pretty much can explain why you still see this product still available from sellers. Don Machi is on July 15th. Again, this is an anti-meta deck that's going to be coming out there. It's definitely not something that beginners should pick up and try playing, because you're really going to need to know how to play that deck. You're not just going to be able to show up and just magic happen and you're going to win the game. Nothing like that. Tokyo Avengers looking good. Quintessential Quintuplets is going to be one of my favorites for this year. Attack on Titan on August 26th. And then we got our announced Rascal Does Not Dream of a Dreaming Girl. October 14th, we have the reprint for our Bunny Girl Senpai. And then also, finally, Saekano, October 28th. Why I'm saying all this is there's going to be deadlines coming up and you need to really watch out for them. So out here on Hammer Girl, remember, I am not sponsored by them. I haven't even talked to them in real life. I just found these people to be very reliable for people that don't have an LGS like me. So these are one of the places that I do buy from. And I'm, just so you know, again, what I just said, one of the places I buy from, so I don't buy exclusively through here or anything like that. But as you can see, Bunny Girl Senpai offer ends June 7th, so there is a quick deadline for this. Even though they just opened it up for pre-orders, it's got a quick turnaround. So you need to make sure that if you are going to buy this, that you need to do it soon. And you can look on Facebook, because other sellers are saying the same thing, that the deadline on this reprint is pretty quick. So make sure you get your orders in if you want it. Again, Bunny Girl Senpai and Saekano and the movie set Rascal Does Not Dream of a Dreaming Girl do not have signatures. This is an Aniplex title, and what we believe is that Aniplex titles will not have signatures in English. It's been keeping that trend for the last couple sets that Aniplex is. Weiss isn't getting rid of signatures. They're really just having to adjust because of these titles, okay? So just so you can see out on Hammer Girl anyways, Bunny Girl Senpai June 7th. Right here, Data Live Volume 2. That is the Japanese side. I definitely expect it to come out in English. I'm not going to be buying this one in Japanese. We got Yuru Camp. So Laid Back Camp, that is for Rebirth for You. June 15th deadline there. Princess Connect Redive. We have this coming out June 20th. We never got one for English, so maybe I don't know if it's going to come out for English ever. Saekano, most people would have never guessed Saekano would have been coming out, since now they're on 3 sets and we're getting our first one. And you kind of need the second one really to play with. So there's that. Saekano, by the way, June 28th is the pre-order deadline for Hammer Girl. So again, you can see how close all of these deadlines are coming up. They're coming up really quickly. So budget-wise, make sure you budget accordingly, okay? All right, let's go to the real fun part. This is the fun part. I wanted to play with this. I've been wanting to play this game for a while. So what this is the Weiss Schwarz Auction Center. This is on Facebook. I put it here so you can see what group this is. This is 2.9K members. And the Weiss Schwarz Auction Center is a global group for people who want to list their cards or other collectibles pertaining to Weiss Schwarz up for auction. Auctions are a great way to sell your cards or other collectibles if you do not have a clear price in mind. This reminds me of Neopets. And what I mean by that, if you never play Neopets, they have a trading system. They have a trading center that you can go on and list your items up for trade. And they also have an auction center. And you'll notice that people describe their items for sale as easy to sell or hard to sell. And what you're going to notice here is there's a lot of harder to sell items on this auction center. Not to say there's not interesting items. They have sleeves, people put up playmats. But you could see there's just some people that just want to get rid of their cards, or at least get attention, eyeballs on the actual card to actually sell it. And they're willing to take a, like a minimum price for these things. I remember one of the things that I always had a hard time dealing with in my mind when people talked about this auction center was the fact that you can get like a realistic price of how much a card is actually worth, or the sealed box is actually worth, because these are people willing to buy these actual items. And I'm like, that's not totally true. I mean, it gives you a number that someone bought it at, but at the same time, it's not the whole market, because as you can see, there's 2.9K members, right? Like, if you don't have Facebook, if you don't know about this group, you don't have all of the market like staring at this card or this item and willing to buy it, because you don't have everybody. Like, so it's kind of like a niche market, a limited market. And at the same time, maybe that's not the best way to market your cards, because maybe the people that have a ton of money aren't actually in this group and all that. You get it. Like, I never, for me, I've never really liked auctions, just for the fact that auctions can go for a way lower price than intended. And we're going to take a look at a couple auctions right here that happened. And I removed, just so you know, I removed all of names, anything like that. Obviously, I don't want to throw someone else's name out there. I don't want my own name out on the internet, so I did not do that same thing to someone else. So let's go here. First up, Lowly Scornful Eyes Unfriendly Roxy. Take a look at her. This is one of the cards that people said should be crazy amounts of money. And I know, like, again, with this auction center, people said this gives you a realistic price of the actual cards. So as you can see here, starting bid $1,000, $10 increments, and it ended yesterday at, it was supposed to be, I think this guy, he messed up the actual auction, but it was up there for a few days. So it wasn't like it just ended all of a sudden. But anyways, $1,000 starting bid, and I'm going to show you TCG players. So this thing was one of the ones where I'm like, the price on this is crazy, it's ridiculous, and people were pumping it up, and it really, I didn't get real good feelings out of it because of the amount of attention that people are trying to hype this card up. So we have this card currently on TCG Player, 6 listings, $1,550, and you can see the recent sales. May 10th, $1,550, April 19th, $1,650, March 30th, $1,939. So before I hit the next button, what do you think that this card actually sold at? Right? What do you think? The answer, $1,000. There is only one bid on this thing, so $1,000. And again, with this auction center, it gives you a number. So what do you think? Does this reflect reality? Is this card $1,000? Is it not supposed to be $1,550 as of a month ago? Is $1,000 the real price of this Roxy? I'm gonna leave you with that. I'm not gonna actually answer. It's one of those ones where it's an opinion kind of thing, right? Like, that card was there for a few days and only got the starting bid. And you can see here, I threw this from TCG Player. Where are we at on the sealed product? So still really expensive. Again, shocker to me that they didn't actually reprint this. There was that weirdness with, I feel like, product being held back to pump up the price. Again, I could be completely wrong on that, but that's what I felt. That was the feeling that I got from what I was seeing with product just kind of showing up towards the end and not being there, and with everything that happened. And you can see trial deck still $29. I didn't click into it, so maybe there's shipping on that, but overall really expensive. I think it was a travesty how this all played out with, let's say, delays and people holding product back. Next thing we got, Hololive. Oh man, if you go out on the auction center, by the way, it's just like Hololive City. If you want Hololive cards, you should check out the auction center. Maybe there's one that you're looking for. I mean, more popular ones, maybe not there, but we have this one, SSP, Akai Haato. So this one here, very nice looking SSP, as we know, one per case. We've been hearing that there's 0 per case in some instances and 2 per case. And that really is, I would say, again, a travesty, because even though rates aren't guaranteed, we know that they should actually be pretty consistent. There have been people that have gotten 0, which is pretty awful. And like I said, there was someone else that opened the case, the master case, that got 0 and then got 2 in the other one. So if you didn't buy a master case, maybe it was sitting in that other case, but who really knows what actually happened. All I know really is they're rushing, they're pumping this out, because you saw that schedule. I brought up that production schedule earlier, and it is filled. So I think quality control definitely out the window, but again, rates aren't guaranteed. I know there was someone that wrote about like they opened a whole case of trial decks for Hololive and only got 1 SP, and they're asking Weiss, like on their Twitter and Facebook actually, for like some kind of compensation, and it's not guaranteed. So unfortunately, if you're hearing this, you're not going to get any sort of compensation for it normally. Like I've seen people say that and seen people email, and that's the response they get. Anyways, going back to this one on TCG Player, no sales yet. $344.99. So $344.99 is what is on TCG Player, no sales. This thing, what do you think? Sold for $200. SSP for $200. I guess. Like, I don't know what to really think about. The other thing about these SSPs, people are saying and showing that the centering was pretty bad. Like overall, like this whole Hololive, you could tell it was just rushed out. There was so much that they had to print. They were just churning product, and we're seeing it play out right here with delays and just overall like ratios that don't make sense. And as you can see, SSPs, these were the ones off TCG Player, only 4. Can you believe that? 4 out of 31 sold on TCG Player. Again, there's been plenty that's been sold on Facebook. You can go on and check other seller websites, and they actually sold some too. So you can't just use TCG Player as your guide for pricing. Definitely not what you want to do. And at least you now have a price point based off of the auction center. Whether you think that is about right or too low, I can't answer that for you, but there you go. Hololive, sealed product, still pretty expensive. I could tell you that booster box in the bottom left there is $15 shipping on it, so that's $80 roughly. You know, if you buy more boxes, you're definitely going to save at $64.99. We got trial deck displays. So again, when people were like freaking out that it's being sold out and all that, and I'm like, you might want to give it a little bit, because people definitely have it. You can see now they're basically right. They're about $110, $120 with shipping. So just make sure to click in there and see it. I will say again, my last and final warning for you. I went and looked at a bunch of trial decks and trial deck displays. And I've said before, you need to make sure you take a look at who you're buying from, because I saw someone with like a really cheap trial deck. I'm not going to say what generation or their name or anything like that, but when I clicked in there, you can see this person actually selling triple rares from the trial decks in there. And he had a few cheap trial decks, which to me basically sounds like, and again, I don't know this person or anything like that or what's happened, but should I buy from that person with the cheap trial decks that have a bunch of triple rare trial deck cards for sale? Like, he had to open something, and more than likely those trial decks, if you're looking for SP, you're probably not going to find it. So they weren't selling SPs, like maybe they sold it before or they just didn't put them up. They're not selling SPs, but you can see the triple rares there, and that's like a dead giveaway that you might not want to buy from that person. Just don't want to see you get ripped off, okay? Next one, Achieving Vindication Shion SP First Print Gold Sign. This one caught my eye because, again, there's that whole debate on, we got gold signatures and silver signatures and which one's going to be more expensive and all that good stuff. So this one's a very interesting one. I love Shion. I mean, who doesn't? You got like a very powerful woman with a big sword, looking very fashionable, defending the man she loves. So I think that's I love her. I love her. I mean, you gotta love powerful women. So this one ended today actually. Yeah, it's June 6th. It is June 6th, so it ended on June 6th, which is today. TCG player. So I put both on here for you. The gold signature first edition one and the silver signature reprint edition. So this gold last sold on TCG Player $300. The one on the right, your reprint silver, sold for $250. So I've always said that I don't think there's going to be like this crazy huge premium on these, like the gold versus the silver. I think people are going to buy the cheaper version when given a chance, just because it's basically the same card. This one sold $200, so way under what the silver one sold for, right? 200 versus 250. And the other one being gold that's currently on TCG Player, 200 versus 650. And recently it sold for 300. So there it is. I mean, if you think 200 is the real price or under market value, whatever, this should pretty much give you like an idea of like what I was talking about. Like maybe not everybody in the market is looking there, especially if that guy on May 23rd that bought the silver one just settled for the silver one. They could have got this for $200. So I don't know. I have my thoughts in my mind, like where it is maybe every given day. I don't know if I would put my auction ending on a Monday. I think that's another thing that you might not want to do. There's all this strategy, right? Like eBay, they tell you not to put it on a certain day and all that. So I don't think we've mastered the art of the auction center, and at the same time, I don't think there's enough exposure yet. But anyways, we're gonna move on. So that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Remember, Child Decks didn't get reprinted. 165. First edition booster box, 183. Remember what I said? I don't think all the sellers on there have first edition boxes. Maybe they do, but you want to watch out, or actually buy. If you do buy, send them a message. Say, hey, by the way, is this a first edition? Because that's what you're selling it as. Make sure before like it gets all sent out and all that, and you're waiting a couple days, your money's tied up. I would just make the effort to probably just check with them to make sure that is a first edition box. Second edition boxes, as you can see here, without shipping, I didn't click in it and check, $67.94. So obviously took a hit because of the reprint overall. You could see that with SRs, triple rares, double rares, all the cards, prices are going down. So if you need that time I got reincarnated as a slime, I don't know if I would actually buy singles because they're still pretty expensive. When you look at the double rares, when I looked at the double rares, it was still pretty expensive. I might just open one at $60 something. I might just open a box, take a shot at it. So that's me personally, but figure out what you want to do there. The cases though look pretty expensive. $1194.95. Let me just do some quick math on my calculator here. Times 68. I guess it's almost right. I think it's still a little high. I guess you could say there's a premium for buying a case. Maybe that's what it is. All right. Anyways, who cares? We're moving on to one of my favorite cards, Miraculous Compatibility Kaguya. Cat Kaguya. What's better than one Cat Kaguya, two Cat Kaguyas? I mean, look at her. She looks cute, beautiful, and all that. Remember Kaguya, another Aniplex show, did not have signatures, and you got this heart on there, and a quote was, "It's starting bid $1." So they went with the minimum there, and it ended on May 31st. So what was this one? So on TCG Player, 222.01 is what we're looking at. Recent sales was back on March, $252.49. I'm not going to keep you long. This is pretty straightforward. This one being two, like in my mind, right? Like if I were to be buying this, it wasn't me. But if I were to have bought this and I'm buying two, obviously this person's trying to get rid of two, I would think there'd be some discount off of this $222, right? Because they're trying to sell, they're not breaking it up. They could have had two auctions, one each, but they decided to put two together, so there'd be like some bulk discount. So what it sold for, $395. So a little bit of a discount. Definitely not a deal off of TCG Player like 22201. Just because, again, I've always said, if you're going to buy something from Facebook, whether that's this auction group or just, person on Facebook, TCG Player charges like, depending on who you are, let's say 10 to 13% off of what you sold it at. So if this is 222 times 2, and then you take off like 10 to 13%, that wasn't really that much of a discount and what I thought of a bulk discount. So to me, this was okay-ish compared to TCG Player. I not really a deal. It's pretty solid. So this one, you could say, was almost accurate in pricing when you factor all of that stuff together. Lastly, this is the last one I got. Bushiroad on the Road Korone. So pricing has been all over the place for this, so decided to put up here and let you guys wrestle it out. I didn't read that till just now. A starting bid $1. It ends tonight at 10 p.m. Central Time. So if you want this, make sure to go out to the auction center. Current price on this is $16. And again, I didn't read what it said up there, but me, I brought up TCG Player, and I was kind of shocked. I was freaking shocked at this. Give Me the Finger is, look at this, there's 2 sales. $19.99 was on May 24th. May 26th, someone paid $130 for this. That's insane. That's insane. That hurts me. That really, really hurts me, just because it shouldn't be that expensive. And again, maybe you love her. There is also a non-foil version. You can see that off to the right for $1.88. Again, I didn't click in it. There's probably shipping on that, but holy crap, $130. You might want to hold up there. I mean, there's going to be more of these coming out. It was definitely way too high. And I can tell you that because we've been following these Hololive PR packs, and inside of there was Gargura. Over the past couple weeks, I've been saying people have been buying it up. The worst part about it was the delays on the PR pack. Some people got it, like, I don't want to say early, or some people just took them all for themselves and started selling them off. And every time it would come out, it would be bought out, and the price would keep going higher and higher and higher. I think this non-foil got to like $25, the one on the right. The one on the left, I think, was near 70 something. But as you could see, the miracle of time and people getting their actual PR packs, you could see Gargura, there's actually the non-foil one has 5 listings, and the foil version has 9. So whether those people had it right away or they were just like, wow, the money's a lot, let me just sell this thing, you can see it's starting to come down as more come to market. So I would say, remember where this one comes from? This one comes from Bushiroad on the Road 2022, which is this. And I'm going to just show you the website one last time, because I know you're probably sick of seeing this website, but just to show you, Bushiroad on the Road is hitting conventions across the United States, 5 to be exact. They already went to the one in Chicago, right? That one's Chicago, or Illinois anyways. They're going to be hitting Los Angeles and Texas and Georgia and New York. So that PR is going to be around. And let me just scroll down to the actual PR, right? Here we go. So learn how to play Weiss Schwarz and Cardfight Vanguard at our TCG area, and you will get this card. So you don't need to pay $130. It's actually pretty amazing, because hotels and tickets to these conventions could be pretty pricey. Can you imagine, like, this card is still $130 and you sell it and help recoup some of your I guess trip expenses? Again, I'm not saying you should do that. I am going to get it, and I'm not going to sell it. It is going to be mine, but I mean, $130, that's insane that that card actually sold for that. Or you could be like, no, Big B, what are you talking about? This is somebody getting their friends to buy this at $129.99 so they can price this at $130. We're gonna do some crazy market manipulation. So whatever the case, I would wait, right? Like, I wouldn't buy that card by far for $130. You might want to give it some time. I mean, there's going to be a lot of time in between because the next one doesn't happen until July. So hopefully no one just thinks that's the only foil card and that's the only chance to get it, because you're going to be able to have more chances. Wow, look at that. That is a lot of time in between. You got May, July, and then October, November, December. So you'll see the price come down towards the end of the year, but I can't imagine, geez, this card's going to be expensive for a while, because some people are just going to think that's it, when really it's all at the end of the year. Jeez. Anyways, PR cards. So again, while I'm here, you got all those PR cards. You got Hololive, trial decks, booster boxes. I guess you can buy packs. You get these sweet specialty novelty chance at an autograph with every $100 purchased. PR cards. So you get the Shioko. I haven't looked up the price on that in a little bit. And the Bang Dream PR cards as well. So there we are. Hopefully you can make it out there. If you know a friend that wants this card, please tell them not to buy it at $130. That's insane. Don't do it. Just make sure to show up at an anime convention, have a good time, and pick up some promo cards. I think that'd be really awesome. And that is everything. So again, I'm just going to show this one more time. Let's go back all the way to the beginning. If you are looking to get some sweet deals or to sell cards, Weiss Schwarz Auction Center is your place to do it. As you can see, again, not giving out really what I really think, because I don't know. I don't really know for sure. Either these are priced to market or they're under what they really should be. So you decide with the examples I gave you, but make sure if you're trying to sell it, use those basic rules of like eBay or any sort of auctions. Make sure to put it on a time that you would think people are on to make bids, because it does happen where people are like, crap, I meant to bid, and they completely forgot. I mean, I wouldn't put it on a weekday. That's probably not a good time to do it. Maybe people aren't looking and all that stuff. So just watch out for that. If you are a buyer, definitely, I think you have some opportunities for picking up some cards. And again, they also sell playmats and sleeves, whatever else is out there. So error cards, I think. Anyways, go check that out. As always, I hope you all have fun, be happy, and don't spend anything outside of your budget. See ya!